Our next guest is the living definition of resilience. Growing up in Richmond, California, she navigated a challenging path to become a first generation college graduate, a powerhouse Black woman attorney, a thriving entrepreneur, and a dedicated mentor. Please help us welcome Tarisha Graves.
You passed the bar, but it's the California bar. So let's first say that that's one of the most difficult bars in the world to pass. And so you did that. And then from there, let's back up a little bit. What was the journey like getting into school? Because you can't, coming from a certain era in inner city, it's not just easy to just be able to stay focused, go to school, and get into law school. So how were you able to manage the environment that you were in and still stay focused enough to go off to college right away?
Okay. So, very young, I looked at everyone around me as examples. Like my earliest memory of knowing that I wanted to be a lawyer, I believe I was like 8 years old. And so I looked at, what everybody around me was doing, and if I did, some things just clicked to me very young, like, okay, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. And I want to go here. I want to say, I think it's because I was like seeing everyone around me like going to jail because I didn't know any attorneys growing up, but
Yeah.
I knew maybe I saw it on TV. I can't really remember, but I know I was like, I want to do that career. And then I wanted to do that career because I also wanted to make a lot of money. I was like, okay, I don't
Yes.
want to live in the, I don't want to, I
Mhm.
knew I didn't want to live in the inner city. I grew up in Richmond and I knew I did not want to stay in Richmond. So I was pretty much a self-motivated kid. And when I say
Okay.
that, I mean that I knew if I got homework from my teacher, I knew I needed to do my homework. My mom didn't have to check my homework. Like I was gonna do my
Sit
homework.
down and do it yourself.
Right.
Okay.
And so it was my teachers. I went to a lot of different schools in Richmond, and I want to say at every school, teachers noticed me, and
Mm-hmm.
so they would be on me more than at home. Because my mom, she had me when she was 17, and so she really wasn't. We pretty much grew up together, and so
Yeah.
she wasn't as active in my learning, but I was active in my learning, and my teachers were like always. Ooh, my teachers were always paying attention to me, so they didn't let me slack.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So I would I turned in my homework on time. I would ask for extra work. Like
Wow.
I just knew. And then I had really good counselors in high school as well as good teachers. I recall my senior year, I tried to like take some easier classes. 'Cause I was always in like advanced honors classes.
Mm-hmm.
And they let you pick your own classes. And my counselor and one of my teachers like called me and like, "Oh, I noticed you're not taking calculus." We're like, "Why don't you start the college?" Like, I'm going to law school. Like, I don't need to be like, I'm done with math. And they were like,
Mm-hmm.
"No, you're taking calculus." And so they like changed my schedule for me. So I want to say
Okay.
it was the school. I had really good school counselors. I went to El Cerrito High School, and they pushed me
They
and
made sure. Did you go right into university or did you do any community college?
I went right to the university. I went to Cal State East Bay. It was just transitioning from Cal State Hayward to East Bay when
Okay.
I went
Okay.
there. And so I originally wanted to go to Cal State Long Beach, but something got messed up with my paperwork. So then I pivoted and went to East Bay.
Okay. Okay. And how long were you at East Bay?
4 years. So
For
I
four
finished.
years.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Okay. Um, so I when I and then I was looking at some things when I was like pulling your information before preparing to sit down and talk with you, and I saw another article that you did a little bit before. I feel like it was maybe 2020 or something like that. And so in the article it said at the towards the end is like, where do you want to go? And you said you plan to have your nonprofit going, you plan to have your nonprofit, a book, doing lots of traveling, and you've done all of the stuff that you said, you
Oh
know.
yeah, I don't remember that article, but
Yeah. It says something like, okay, so where can we expect to see you or something like that? And you was like, well, I plan to do a lot more traveling. It was during COVID, so I guess you couldn't travel then. And then you said you want to have your Esquire cookbook or something like that, and then have your organization going. And so you have done all of those things. You have the Two Suitcases in the Dream nonprofit organization. How did that come about?
So I do have the Two Suitcases in the Dream, and I'm actually working now to get it active. So I have to do some more paperwork so that I could actually start helping people.
Okay.
The name comes from me literally moving to Florida. So I went to Florida A&M University College of Law.
Hmm.
So I
Hmm.
literally took two suitcases. That's all I had.
Wow.
Two suitcases and like a couple of $100 in my bank account. And the deposit for my apartment. So, and the money
Wow.
I had in the bank, that actually came from my sister. So I think she was 5 months pregnant with my niece when I went away. And I
Hmm.
have nothing. So she gave me all the money that she had
Oh
because
my
she
goodness.
went away.
Wow.
So yeah, so it was literally two suitcases in the dream is what I went to Florida with. The first, I think I want to say the first couple of days, 'cause I didn't have no car, I didn't have no furniture. In
Nothing.
my suitcase, I remember I packed like some rolls of toilet paper. I had a blazer and some slacks because we did have to dress up that I know
Hmm.
that orientation day. I had like one towel, one big towel, one face towel,
Wow.
um, the blanket, something's in my eye. The blanket I had from Delta Airline. And what else did I have? A couple of outfits. And I had some stuff shipped, but that's literally what I had for like the first
So
couple of
you moved in with just the blanket that you got from the air from the from the
It was Florida,
airline.
so it was hot, so I didn't really need anything. And then I caught the bus to school, and I want to say that third orientation day, I met one of she's still my friend today. She lived near me, and I was telling her like I caught the bus. She was like, "No, you're not gonna catch the bus. I'm gonna." She's from Tennessee. She's like, "You can ride with me every day." And
Oh.
then one of my the girl who gave me the tour of the college when I went in 2012 to like visit it, she lived right across the street. She just was out of town during my orientation week, but then she actually picked my apartment out for me, and now we're still really good friends. She flew in from Georgia for my swearing in. Uh,
Oh.
but then so when she would drop me off, and then or if she was out of town, she would let me use her car too.
Oh, that
I
was
met some
nice.
really good people in law school
Yeah.
that did
Yeah.
me
That's
over.
good. I love when communities can work together in that way, and support that because that's what it takes. We can't get too far by ourselves. So it's good you were open to it and good they had the heart to give because that makes so much difference. And I also like to hear these type of details when I'm talking to other people, especially younger people. There's so many excuses when it's time to make a move. It's like, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that. And I can tell my story of what I took to make something out of nothing. But it's just so good to hear different examples. It's not just one person that this is how you succeed. You have to take whatever you have and just literally make do with it. Yeah.
And I'm so
So,
happy. Like I didn't care. It was the opportunity. I was like, I'm finally here. Like this is what I wanted, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get there. And
to
that's
get
how
there.
it ties back to the foundation because I know what I needed, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what made me want to start the foundation just so that I can provide everything that I needed to the next generation.
Yeah, and it's like people can someone can look at you now and you can just even like look at your social media and see you traveling, you're always dressed really well. Everything is just looking the way it's looking, and that will make someone like aspire to say, I want to do what she's doing, but you guys need to know what it takes because that's the hard part. Once you get in the thick of it, you don't want to keep going because it's just so treacherous. Like any road to success, especially if you're the first person to do it. Now, if you come from a line of like others, it's kind of like it's a smoother sail because they've done it before and can kind of show you the ropes, but it's much more difficult. So it's good for people to hear, like I call them the gory details, of,
Right.
of what it takes to get
The
there. Like
blood,
it's
sweat, and
wild.
tears. Yep.
Hmm. And
Yeah.
so with Two Suitcases in the Dream, what all services do you guys, what do you do? Because I saw in the past you were doing some scholarships with it. What services will you guys when you get everything settled back in, what will you be offering?
I want to actually start as early as I can with picking out those students who actually want to be lawyers. Because I feel
Okay.
like if you have someone like taking you along the,
Mm-hmm.
if you're in middle school, like you can do things that early to like prepare you better to get into the
Yeah.
best colleges, to take the LSAT scores. So I want to like have a component where I'm like mentor. It's like basically a mentorship program where we're guiding you. Kind of what they did when I got to law school, because they had people coming in to like show us how, like Brooks Brothers came in and did like demonstrations to show us how to dress. Like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so you need to know how to pick out a suit. I didn't know how to pick out a suit when I went to law
Yeah.
school.
Yeah.
And my friends I met there was like took me to Macy's and like helped me find the right suit that would fit me. So stuff like
Okay.
that. Interviewing, how to interview, like how to get your resume, which internships you should be taking, which scholarships you should be applying for, getting grants to like actually help people relieve some of that financial burden. And then also, which I feel like is the most important thing, I want to have a mental health component to it.
Oh,
Where
nice.
that's something that someone who is like a first generation, you need stuff, you need an outlet. And
You
I
do.
needed one. And so I started actually seeking out therapy my last semester of law school,
Okay.
because I needed help transitioning from being a student to going back into the work.
Yeah.
I literally was having like a mental breakdown,
Yeah.
like school is over. Like I started applying to more college. I was gonna go and get my
Mm-hmm.
LLM because I just was not ready to go. In
Yeah.
the
And
workforce.
so is it just you, or do you will you have other people helping you with the caseloads?
I definitely that is where I like see it. I see it as like a organization with many compartments to it.
Okay.
So I personally know a Black therapist who I want to like have her come in and like help me with that part. But I will need like other attorneys, like when it comes to, it's called is it OCI? When you're a law student, you do these OCI interviews,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where your first semester, your first summer, like you do summer internships, and then that determines your long term, like where you're gonna end up. And so I do want to have a network of attorneys and like law firms where we could actually do real help, like placing these
Yeah.
once they graduate, where are they going? Like, can we like do some get help people to
Yeah.
find jobs? Because I had a hard time finding job placement once I finished,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the reason why like I was owning my own firm, but now
Yeah.
I'm with a firm now, but I had to like start out on my own, and that
That's
was
right. You
so.
did. You had your own firm too. Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's like being so young and have girl, listen. There are people, then there are people that are just all that in a bag of chips, and you are one of them, literally, because like you're so young, and that's what I'm always tripping off of. Like, dang, like you had your own firm, you wrote books, and you just be doing it, and that's great. And but like you said, you were thrived in school, so you were always really smart, and it's
Mhm.
great that the teachers saw that and sought you out and pulled you aside and stayed on you to make sure. And I relate to that because my mom was a teen mom too, and I loved school, but I just couldn't I couldn't focus. But my personality, I feel like it's probably opposite of yours. I was very like I was a little bit more obnoxious, so teachers want
Okay.
to, that wouldn't make them
I
want
would
to
say
like,
I was more introverted. I
yeah,
would say like I would sit in the class and I would know the answers, and it took a long time for me to find my voice to like actually say it. And
yeah,
then I wasn't one of those kids. I didn't like to play. Like I didn't want to be outside playing. So like
okay,
I would skip recess. I didn't do recess in elementary school.
wow, okay,
I
okay,
would just skip it. I would either go and volunteer in like the kindergarten class to like
oh
be with the kids.
wow,
Like the kids were like so bad in the neighborhood, the schools I went.
hmm,
And I just was like, I don't like these kids. Like I was always a little
yeah,
bit more mature, and so I would eat my lunch like in the classroom with the teacher, like doing extra work. Like, can you give me extra work? I really don't want to go
oh,
out there.
that,
So yeah,
okay,
I was really introverted, and
hmm,
I still like I am a people person, but I still need my alone time. Like I'm like I don't want to say loner, but I have a lot of friends and
hmm,
family, but then I still like like my own little, I like to be in
Yeah.
my own little bubble.
Yeah, they have a term that they came out for the person that's between extrovert and introvert. I can't think of it now, but they made one for that group, you know.
Yeah,
So
I even had to work on like, and it's so funny because I've wanted to become a lawyer, but I was shy. I was always really a shy kid. So I
okay.
didn't like to speak out and talk out loud and didn't like public speaking either. And it's like,
Mm.
well, how are you going to do that? But in law school, I don't know if you heard of Toastmasters.
Yes, yes.
So
Hmm.
I did that in law school to help me
Okay.
like, it's like a public speaking like little group. And I did that
Yeah.
like help me get over my, like,
And what was that effective for you?
it was helpful.
Okay, okay, okay. Okay, well that's all of that is very good to know. Now, let's talk about the cookbook. I know there's one and there
Mhm.
will be another, or are you
So I never released, I don't know why I didn't. I never released it because then when I made the cookbook, the type of food that it was in the cookbook is not the type of food that I eat anymore.
Mhm.
So I have started a separate TikTok account just for cooking. So
Okay.
I am gonna like get back into it. And I
Okay.
actually do have so I live here in Napa now, and
Yeah.
there's the Culinary Institute here. And so I may start taking like some classes just to like perfect my own techniques so that I could
Okay.
really like develop recipes that are good
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
healthy. So yeah.
How did you get into cooking? Was it just like being home, cooking
Mm,
with the family, or how did you get into that?
I actually didn't even start cooking until I got in law school because I didn't have to cook at home. My mom always cooked.
Okay.
Even when I was in college, I stayed home and my mama would cook. But growing up, I always watched the Food Network channel.
Okay. Okay.
So I loved the challenges like Ina Garden, what's the name? Rachel Ray, Paula Dean.
Hmm.
I would just sit instead of like watching the regular, I would watch the Food Network channel all day. The Food
Yeah.
Network channel and Court TV. When
Okay.
I
Okay.
like go to, like I would watch random trials on Court TV. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So it was just
That's
like
something people
cultivating.
don't know about me. Like I've always been interested in food and that's why like when you see my plates, they're like
They're perfect.
yeah, because I
They-
feel like when I'm cooking, I'm like feeling like I'm on a cooking like my own personal cooking show.
Yeah, you're in the zone. That's your flow state there when you prepare and everything, and you make a little bit of everything too. So it makes sense. Those cooking shows will do it. Yeah, because
Yep.
I did that as well, and I also have like a lot of cookbooks. So whenever I cook, it's never like a straightforward dish. It's always like something ain't nobody probably gonna eat but me. But it looked nice though.
I did just well I purchased it, I want to say last year. I got Martha Stewart's first cookbook, the entertaining book.
How
So
did
I'm
you
gonna
get that?
go
Was that a
I bought
re-release
it.
or?
They
Oh, okay.
re-released it. Yeah, they
Oh, okay,
re-released it.
okay. Oh,
And so I'm gonna go through it cover to cover and probably document it. We'll see. But
yeah, that sounds nice. That sounds nice. Okay, and traveling, lots of travel. How many countries are we at right now?
I've been to 9 countries so far. Some of
Mm.
them I've been to multiple times. Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, I've traveled a lot. And recently I've been doing more like domestic traveling. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I kind of got over the airport. Like when I think
Hmm.
about going like the long travel days. Like I love going places, but it's like the getting there part that's like, oh my God, do I really feel like that? Like can
Yeah.
I do something like that's like
It's a
2 to 3
job, right?
hours or local? Because I'm like more like wellness centered
Yeah, yeah. And that
vacations
that was
now.
my next question for you is like, is that your go-to for maintaining like your work-life balance is travel?
Yep,
Okay. And family too, because you're very family oriented. I see you doing a lot with your family and things like that.
yep. Because
Okay.
one of my like top love languages is quality time.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Do you have a second one?
Quality time and physical touch.
Okay, okay.
And so,
Nice.
and there's ways that you can do both of those without actually needing others. So that's why like I'll work out. Like if you working out, like get massages. Um,
Yeah. Oh,
just like
wow.
doing something that I enjoy, like watching, like I like to binge watch shows and stuff. So like giving time to myself, like taking time away from work and I can give my own self quality time and
I've
do what
never
I
thought of
actually
that
love.
before. I have never thought of that before. I'm gonna adopt that because but you know what though? I think I might do that unconsciously because my love languages are the first one is gifts, and I think the other one is words of affirmation. And I know I
That
have a
used to
lot of
be
like
mine. It switched.
really
Hmm.
okay. Well, yeah, and like I know I have a lot of like magnets and mugs that have like sayings on it. Like I bought a coffee cup that says "I like you" a latte, and sometimes I look at this stuff like, why did I buy this? And now I'm thinking maybe because of the words were on there, I was so I guess maybe you do it already because I do when I give
Hmm.
myself things, I buy stuff myself, and it does, give you that good dopamine release. But I didn't realize that I
It's
was
being more
love
intentional.
languaging myself. Yeah. Oh,
Like I do
okay.
solo travel. Like I'll do solo travel. I'll do solo dates. I'll like I just last like a couple weeks ago I ordered me something from Victoria's Secret and I was like, well, for Christmas I got my niece the love spill body spray from
You
Victoria's Secret.
did you introduce her to that classic?
I did. And then I realized when I sprayed it, the smell made me happy. So I bought myself some.
Okay.
And so if I'm like wanting to just like up my mood, I'll just spray some of that on me. And because the
Okay.
smell reminds me of good times.
Yeah, the nostalgia. So
So
did
yeah,
you come to that realization yourself about like giving yourself the things you like based on your love language?
no, so in 2020, that was like a year of like eye opening for me. So I've always been health conscious. Like I want to say when I went to Cal State East Bay, I was like 18. I was doing Pilates as like electives back then, like because they had fitness classes. So I was always doing wellness center stuff. And but I got really serious in 2020. I started therapy and I really like tapped into like fitness.
Self-care. Okay,
And
okay.
my therapist helped me to like do things today because I would always be like, well, I'm going on a trip next week, so then I'll be relaxed then. She was like, well, what could you do right now when you get off the
Mm.
call? Like,
Mm.
why are you waiting for
I
a
like that. I like
vacation?
that. I like that.
And
Yeah.
so then I started like doing research on like, well, how can I was like, these are my love languages. How can I give that to me? Like instead of so I like physical touch. I don't need somebody to like come physically touch me. Like what can I do to soothe myself? So I learned how
Yeah.
to self-soothe. Hmm.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. When did you know that your love languages changed? Did you take a test later and it
I
came up?
took the test later because I was
Mhm.
starting to because it used to be words of affirmation, and I think that came because your love language are kind of like centered around what you lacked in your former
Yes.
years. And so
Yes.
remember I told you my mom was not as active and
Yeah.
I didn't get like I wasn't like validated as much at home, like
Hmm.
with the words. And so I needed more of that. But then
Wow.
once I started going to therapy, I think it shifted. But then I
Uh-huh.
also didn't get a lot of hugs and kisses too as a child. So then that one surfaced. And then
Okay.
the quality time, like because I would like self-isolate myself, I
Hmm.
don't think I got a lot of quality time with people. Because I like to remember
Okay.
I told you I like to be by myself.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what you so once you heal a certain part of you, then because healing is gonna always be
Yeah. Yeah.
they're always gonna come up. So as I healed, then those ones came to the top.
Okay. Okay. And with you being proactive in your healing journey, you're able to measure and see, and now your needs have changed. And that's very insightful. That's
But
very
sometimes
insightful. I
more
don't
the other ones that we lacked in those areas, those are the ones like, yeah.
that are most prevalent as far as like needs.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay. All right. So also when I was looking around, and we talked briefly about this, but I found something else and I want to read a little excerpt of this from this another interview that you did a while ago. Or this place is called Alive and Free, the organization. Okay, can I read a little bit of this to you?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is about why it's asking how you came to Alive and Free. And it says, I had recently ended an abusive relationship. I had no self-love and let my circumstances dictate my behavior. I needed guidance and a safe environment to discuss things I had held inside for so many years. And it just goes on to talk about how this organization provided you that opportunity. What stage of life were you in when you were dealing with that relationship?
Um, that was college. So that was when I
Okay.
was at Cal State East Bay. And that
Okay.
was my last year.
Your last year there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. And how long were you in that relationship?
5 years.
For 5 years? And
Mm-hmm.
was it the abuse of the entirety of it, or did it start at a certain point?
The end.
The end. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What do you feel like? Do you feel like the way you just described your nature and your personality, do you feel like that kind of predisposed you to even staying in that type of situation, just not being very vocal? Or what do you feel I mean, because I guess the conversation about staying is typically at the end when you're talking about something like this, but I'm asking it first, like when it first happened, what made you want to stay with the person?
Um, I think first you have to be aware of what's actually going on and being able to admit it, and then also the embarrassment of it. Because
Yeah.
sometimes it the victims of and I did the domestic violence clinic when I was in law school, so I know way more about it
Yeah.
now than I did when I was going through it. And it's the embarrassment of like letting other people know what's going on. And so
Okay.
we all walking around with this like mask on. We don't want people to see our true selves, like who
Yeah.
we are. And I think that was probably the biggest thing, because I watched my mom go through it and I watched
Okay.
other people in my family go through it, and I thought that it could never happen.
Okay, okay. And then when it did, you were okay, that makes perfect sense. Do you feel like that provided you with like the tenacity to kind of stick it out too, seeing that it happened with other situations? Did you feel like did some of it did some of it present as normalcy at any point to you? Or did you always know like it wasn't okay?
I knew it wasn't okay. And let me see. I knew it wasn't okay, but then you know how I was a person that I did kind of like isolate myself, so it made me more easy. It's easier for that to happen to somebody who's already in a shell, so to
Mm-hmm.
say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
yeah.
I didn't I didn't express myself. I didn't start expressing myself openly until years late after the abuse, and
Okay.
so people never really knew what I was feeling or what I was going through, because
Okay.
for one, they didn't ask. And then I always looked like I had everything together.
Yeah, yeah, that's an assumption. People just look at they look at the success and I mean we can't fault people. It is what it is. But if you weren't presenting anything that would suggest that something's going on, I guess we can't blame folks. But that's why I'm glad now that we have those people and you identify them who when they ask you how you doing, you already know that it's a space where you can really like kind of open up or unload. With you have
One
different
person noticed, and that was my sister. She
Okay.
thought something was off, and she
Okay.
asked me, and I denied it to her.
Huh. And was it with your energy or that she was feeling something was off about?
Yeah, she could just tell, like she knew. She
Okay.
knew. Yeah.
Okay. And you just hit it.
Hmm.
Okay. So
So because she knew, I hid it more.
okay. So how did you finally leave the situation?
He actually got incarcerated, and so we were
Be-
like literally separated.
Was it because of the domestic violence?
No, it was something
Oh,
unrelated. Yep.
okay. Okay. So that was your way to just walk away.
Yep. And it was
Okay.
like, and so he was, I don't know if I ever talked about this, but he was incarcerated, and then a little bit after he was incarcerated, I found out I was pregnant. And
Oh,
then I know. And so then I ended up he got incarcerated. I found out I was pregnant. The car that I had like literally just bought was totaled. A drunk driver hit it while I was parked outside. And then a couple
wow.
weeks after that, I miscarried.
Wow. Oh
I
my
know.
goodness. And this is your all in your last year of college.
No, so I was out of college at this time.
Okay, okay,
It was like 2010. So I graduated college in 2009. So this was like
okay.
2010. Yeah,
Oh, how,
2010.
and so you were early on when you miscarried?
I was early on. I was like 6 to 8 weeks.
Oh, wow. That's a lot.
So it was a lot. And I was at that time I was getting my paralegal certificate. So I was in paralegal school at that time. So it was like devastating during that time, but then after the fact, it all made sense why everything happened, how it happened. Because I want to say after that, that's when I decided like I'm gonna go to law school out of the state. Like I got to just remove myself from this whole environment and let me
Okay.
give myself a fresh start. So
Okay. So
that's
had
why.
that not happened, you would have set up shop. Were you hit back in your hometown, or where were you? What city were you in when this happened?
So we moved to Pinole in 2005 when I
Okay.
graduated from high school. So I was living in Pinole at the time.
Okay. Okay. So you would have been around. Okay. Yeah. So it sounds like everything kind of obviously happens for a reason. So after that point, you went off to law school, and this is at Florida.
Florida
Where?
A&M.
Okay. 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 And how was that? How was that experience for you?
I loved it.
You
I
loved it.
loved it. I wasn't gonna come back. I wasn't gonna come back. But I think I got homesick. And then my last year, my sister and my niece actually moved to Florida with me.
Oh,
So
okay.
and it was a community college like literally across the street. And so my sister went there and it was just us three and my classmates would like help babysit so that we could
Nice.
like have our
Nice.
time and we loved it. And then I was like, I'm coming back home. I'm
Mm-hmm.
coming back home.
You came back home. And then when you
Hmm.
came back home, you didn't start your own law firm right away. What did you start doing first before you went into that?
Okay, so then back to the Omega Boys Club. So when I went there, their program is actually designed for undergrad, people who are going to undergrad. They don't have a program for people who are going to graduate school or, upper, I wanted to stay there because I liked what they were teaching
Mm-hmm.
and I liked what I was learning about myself. And so I kept going. I went through the program as if I would get the scholarship at the end. Like, even though
Okay.
they told me I wasn't, I still went through the program.
You still gave it your all.
And so then at the end, they ended up so they didn't give me a scholarship, but while I was in law school, they agreed to pay my rent. So that
Nice.
was the check that
Okay.
I had for the deposit to get my.
Okay.
They came from the Omega Boys Club,
Look
the
at that.
Alliance.
Look at that.
So my last year, I was here Christmas break, and I still didn't have any job offers. And one of the guys there was like, "I'm gonna introduce you to this judge." And so I met with her like a day or two before I was to fly back for my last semester. And she spoke with me and she agreed to like do whatever she can to help me. And
Mm-hmm.
so a position opened at the San Francisco Superior Court for a legal research attorney. And I reached out to her. She was a judge at the San Francisco Superior Court. So I reached out to her and she helped me navigate the application process and like kind of was like a mentor for me. She had never met, like she met me that one time and she was
Yeah,
like looking out for me. And
that's
so my
nice.
first job out was I was a legal research clerk at the San Francisco Superior Court off
Okay.
McAllen. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
But it was only a 1 year, so it was a 1 year clerkship. And so after that ended, I had to figure out, and because I didn't go to law school in
Mm-hmm.
California, I didn't have a network in California
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So my network was in Florida. So I had to kind of start. So my last year of high school, one of the counselors got me a job as a courtesy clerk at the El Cerrito Natural Grocery. So I started working there when I was 17. Once I graduated, I became a cashier. So I was a cashier at the El Cerrito Natural Grocery up until 2008. So from 2005 to 2008, I was a cashier. Then I started working at Juvenile Hall in Martinez as a probation counselor.
Okay. Wow. That's a big that's a big old day
I
and
wanted
night
to,
there.
because I didn't know if I wanted to do criminal law, or I didn't know. The only law I knew was criminal law. I didn't know there was
Okay.
other
Yeah,
avenues.
okay. But fortunately for somebody like you, you're attracting like things that, that help you out, like the people that have jumped in and helped
Yeah.
you and provided opportunities. So it ends up working out. And I feel like that's the way life is when your heart is right. You're just a magnet for good things. How are you working with juvenile? How are you working there with being like where you start? Like, how are you with the kids working in that environment?
Oh my God. So that was it. So I was 21. So you have to be 21 to even work that job. So I was very young working
Close
there.
to a lot of their ages, right?
And I looked young. I looked like I was 17 years old working there. So I know it was a big transition because the kids, so like I did look really young, and a lot of them were from Richmond, so they knew my sister. So a lot of the
Okay.
kids were like, "Are you too?" And so
Yeah.
it was hard to like make my presence like the more senior probation
Yeah. Yeah.
counselors who were like older than me. So
Mm-hmm.
it was a, and it was like it was hmm. Going into there. I thought that because it's called probation counselor, I thought that I would be able to talk to the kids more. Like I liked working in the girls unit more than I was more so, I think I mainly worked in the girls unit with the girls.
Okay. But
And I
it
wanted
wasn't what
to,
it seemed.
no, you can't do anything. Like I thought I could help. And I was like,
Okay.
I can't help here. Like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna make an impact here.
What is it more like case management? What was it more of?
You're a correctional officer,
Okay. Oh, okay.
basically. You're just
Okay.
the call your probation counselor, but you're sitting on the unit watching the kids while they're in the cell.
Oh, okay. You want to get involved and
It
change the
was no
life.
counseling, like there was no mentorship. It was
Oh,
none of that. What you would think,
oh,
but yeah.
okay. I wouldn't like that either. I wouldn't like it's like what am I don't want to yeah, you want to get
Yeah,
involved, like,
like that, and then you gotta like when they're eating, they can't talk, so you gotta stop talking. Like you have to just be like,
oh yeah. No.
I'm not a mean person, so I can't do that. I'm like, why they can't talk? Like they just you
You're like stop talking. Eat your
like they're
food. No,
talking, you
thank
gotta
you.
write them up. Put them in trouble. Like I was like, this ain't
Like
the
they're already in jail. They can't talk and like yeah. Okay,
no
makes perfect
rehabilitation. It
sense.
didn't seem like you're not giving them anything like to
Hmm.
help them not come back here. So like
Yeah.
that.
Oh,
But
okay. So we're fast forwarding. Where are you now? You're living nice, beautiful space you're in. You're in Napa. Like
mhm.
that's the place to be. You could walk out the door and just be on a little vacation, like, every day,
Yeah, got the view of the mountains
Oh
and
my
everything.
goodness. That's what hard work will get you, right? Yes,
Yeah.
hard work, sacrifice, having a good heart, being good to people, all of those things are important. And so you are a testament of all of that. And so just a little bit like how are you now? Where are you? What are we doing career-wise? Where are you now in this space?
So, remember I was telling you about the judge who was like my mentor. So when I
Mm-hmm.
was working at the court, she introduced me to a woman, and that woman worked at the judge's husband's firm. And
Mm-hmm.
so they weren't taking any new associates. So I didn't have any experience, but I kept in contact with the person she connected me with, and she kind of became like my mentor. And in 2022, she reached out to me and was like, she became named partner, and she wanted me to come like give her my firm and be her associate and let her train me and mentor me.
Mm-hmm.
And it was crazy because it was January of 2022. And I literally was like laying in bed, like, oh, I'm so tired of like running my own. It was a lot to manage. And then her email literally came through and I was like, yes, let's meet. And so
Let's do it.
I met with her and I ended up shutting down my firm, but I still do personal injury, but I still mix now. So I brought all of my clients to the firm and
Okay.
I was doing both insurance defense and personal injury. So I still do
Okay.
both. I'm here at the firm of the judge who first helped me, her husband's firm when
Wow.
he found it. So that's
Okay.
what I've been at
Okay.
since
Another full circle moment there.
it's like a full circle whole. It all came back around. So I've been here for well, 4, so this will be 4 years.
Time
Yeah.
is flying.
So I started in April 2022, so it'll be my 4-year anniversary this April.
Okay.
I was initially doing kind of the same thing, except for we were representing like big insurance companies who have multi-million-dollar insurance policies. So like
Okay.
wrongful death claims on the opposite side. So it kind of made it. I would say coming here has made me better plaintiff attorney because now I know
Yeah.
both sides. But right now, what I'm primarily doing it's kind of another full circle. I'm doing juvenile dependency work now.
Oh, okay. So this firm represents a lot of different things.
Yeah, so we represent cities and counties, and so
Okay.
I represent them in claims that are filed by former dependents. And
Okay. And
yeah.
now you're in the capacity to actually make some change, help make some change for the juveniles.
Mhm.
Okay. Oh, see? I like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so I don't speak on, so what I stopped doing it. I don't talk about law as much publicly as I used to. And
But
it's
I saw the reels that you were doing and I got excited about it. I was like, yes, I
yeah,
saw
I
that.
gotta yeah, I'm trying to like talk more about law, but I think the reason I shied away from doing it is because I don't want law to be my person. Like how people make their job their personality, and that's all
Yeah.
people. Even they seem like I'm way
Yeah.
more than just a lawyer. Like
Mm-hmm.
I have other interests. I like to do these kind of things too.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to find that balance. But yeah, I like what I'm doing now. I'm still accepting personal injury claims. Like I settled some really big cases last year, and
Okay.
I'm like, hoping to get some more in.
Okay. Okay. And so you are open to people reaching out to your firm, and if they do that, they can request you. If they okay. Is there like because once we get everything up and going, of course this up and out there, your info will be on there. We're able to attach your info for people to contact you.
Okay, I can definitely give you the firm's website, and then they
Yeah,
can put my profile on there, and they can.
that's great. So then, and then what about I don't want to keep bugging you about this book. I'm just really excited about it. So where do you have like a perspective, like a timeline, or are you still just taking your time getting it where you want it
I
to
think
be?
I'm taking my time because I
Okay.
have so many ideas, and it's just implementing them all. But
Yeah.
I'm like on myself because I have my little. Um, last year I did like a bingo. Instead of vision board, I did a bingo card and just like
Okay.
filled it in of what
Oh,
things I
that's
would
nice.
do. Like put a little dab it sticker on it when I like complete it. So I'm
Do
still
you
working
do you
on it.
reward yourself when you get one a line?
I should do that. But I
Look
feel
at
like
look at me. Look, I'm saying that because that's my love language gifts, right? I'm like, because I was just thinking I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna copy that, and then I just instantly said, and I'm gonna reward myself when I cross a line.
see, I like to so gift giving is one of my love languages. I like to give people gifts, but I give myself like I feel like I give myself all the time.
Yeah, you do. You do. You be living it up.
Myself so many birthday gifts already. Like, oh, this is my birthday gift to myself. Like, I have so much stuff for
Hmm.
myself. So, actually, when people give me stuff, it's the simplest thing. Like, you can give me a candle, and I think you gave me a candle before. And I was so happy. I was like, I'm so simple. Like, when it comes to like gifting me, but I'll like give the most sentimental gifts to people, and I like
Hmm.
get joy from that. which is
Okay.
another. You said a video on my that's like got like 300,000 views now. It's like me gifting my family, my mom and my granny them the Louis
I saw
Vuitton.
that. I saw that early on when you did it, and I was just that's just the sweetest thing, and that too is like a I love it. That's why I mentioned the family oriented part. That's just such a beautiful thing,
And
and
I've given
the
to law
capacity to give.
students. I have given in the past. Like I've covered this one guy's. He was studying for the LSAT, and I paid for his LSAT prep course because those are
Wow.
expensive, and I didn't have nobody to pay for mine, and I was
Yeah.
struggling to
Yeah.
pay for mine. I paid bar fees, LSAT fees. Like I try to do what I can
Do
because I
what you
know how
can.
hard it is.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's what
Mhm.
it takes to give. Giving back is, I'm a giver. I like it too. I just have to be mindful. I just have to be mindful because I got into a place where I had just like shut down forever and just stopped dealing with folks and giving because people take, but now what I do is just kind of qualify people, or if it's a situation where you really see somebody is just absolutely desolate and it doesn't matter if they're a good person or not. We do our human stuff, but as far as like the people around us and our families and friends, I just personally qualify whether or not I want
Yep.
to open myself that way to people. Do you find yourself doing that too, being that you know who you are, how you are? Are you like, do you take a different approach as you would, let's say, some years back to the way you deal with people?
Yeah, because I know you're gonna benefit from being around me. I don't. I have a really, 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 really tight circle, so that
Yeah.
there's very limited opportunity for someone to like use me. But if
Mm-hmm.
you're
Mm-hmm.
around me and like you mention something, and I'm like always taking a mental note, like, oh, well, her birthday or something celebration,
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it to you. It's gonna. You're like, what did how did you know? Like the first time you said it, I already picked up on it.
You took a mental note. Yeah, I'm that way too. And I would find myself just like people having people's kids all the time,
Yeah,
or just
no.
people just taking
Boundaries.
advantage,
That's
so
another thing
now.
I love therapy. I learned how to set better boundaries.
Yeah.
And because we would go through, like, I tell her what happened, and she'd be like, you're upset because somebody violated an imaginary boundary that you never set.
Mm,
So
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
it's like,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I became, and people were like, you're so strict, you're mean, like that. Like, no, your boundaries are what protects you. So
Yeah,
just set better boundaries and like use your discernment, trust your gut, keep your gut clean. Like I'm really big on like gut health. Like I drink celery juice every day. I'm
yeah,
like plan you gotta keep your gut healthy so you're always your instincts, like you're on it. Because I know you can feel it. You
you
can
can feel it for sure.
your body keeps the score, like your body reacts a certain way. And you're like,
Yeah,
I'm not feeling that. Like it's familiar and your body's
yeah,
trying to tell you, but if you're not in tune with yourself, which is why I'm like
mm-hmm,
always like
mm-hmm,
I do
mm-hmm.
yoga, I do Pilates, like I'm always like
To keep
keeping my
centered.
mind clean.
That's so important. I was just talking to my daughter about that the other day. Like it's not just people talking. The gut is like the center for everything. It controls like our brain. Gut health is so important. So I'm like, we need to be on them probiotics. We need to be keeping that gut together. And I recently learned that maybe
Kefir, Greek yogurt, all that's in my
you
fridge.
say
Like I
kefir.
kefir.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay.
It's a
Yeah.
fermented like drink. Drink a glass of it, but it's all gut healthy probiotics for your gut.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That is right. Your gut will tell you. You'll feel it. It will definitely tell you. And like you said, it's familiar. And the Bible even talks about familiar spirits. And sometimes it could be something that's so familiar, and even though you feel like it's wrong, just because you're used to it or you've seen it, you think you can go along the ride, and then you look up and you burned in some capacity because you went against what your gut was telling you not to do. So
And just
simply.
recently, I was like, I wanted to go out of the country for my birthday.
Hmm.
And then I saw what was happening with everybody got stuck in the Caribbean, and I was like,
Oh yeah.
So then I was like, okay. So I started looking up places, and I kid you not, I got on the airline. I was on Googling it, and I was on the airline. I was looking up flights, and my stomach started turning. And I was like, this isn't safe. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do it.
Wow.
I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna do something that's local, that's safe,
Okay.
like that don't require me traveling out the country until
Yeah, you
I
have to
feel my
follow that.
body tell me it's okay.
Yep. Yep. That's good. That's good to be in a place to even listen to that. That's good. Well, you know what? I know you are a busy person, so I'm not going to
I
keep probing and probing and probing. You have gave plenty today. Thank you so much. Before we leave, I want to ask you if you can give like some advice to people that are coming along the journey, and just think of yourself when you were in the space of, let's just go back to Pinot, when it's like I'm in a situation I probably shouldn't be in, deciding to move. Like, what pieces of advice would you give to a young person in that position to help them make their transition and their road a little more straightforward and smooth?
Okay, this is what I literally, my nephew's on his way to college. He'll be graduating this year. And he got some college acceptance letters. And I told him, I was like, you can go. I was like, go explore, go have fun. Like, don't get in any serious relationships. Make sure that you're always safe out there. Like, enjoy as much as you can. But remember that every choice you make is going to affect your future. So make good choices now. I'm like, you're going to make some mistakes, but just know that every single choice you get up and make every day is going to impact where you land 10 years from now. It may seem small, but just always keep in mind that is this going to help me to get where I want to go?
Yeah.
And is it worth the sacrifice? Like, do I really want to do this? And that's, yeah. Just know your choices have consequences. There's a lot of choices that I made that I shouldn't have made, but I've come to terms with it. And you're gonna mess up, but then you always have tomorrow. And the choices you make from that day forward will put you in the position you're supposed to be in. Network, network, network.
For
Build
sure.
your network. Keep your character clean. Like, be you too. Like, don't people can pick up on when you're not genuinely being you. And do things that you like. Like, don't let anyone else influence who you become. Like, be who you want to be. And then what you read from the Omega, that was one of the coachisms that stuck with me when I was there. And that's just, don't let my circumstances dictate my behavior.
Yeah.
Like, don't let what you came from there, but that's not where you have to stay.
Yeah.
Like, you can be whatever you want to be. And that's by making conscious choices every single day. You can't let up. Like, you gotta stay the course.